All right, guys, we are doing another problem here from our accounting 201. This is for chapter 9, problem 9-3A, which is from homework 2. What we have is we're trying to figure out how to enter the depreciation and sale of certain assets. So the first thing that we look at here is, there's three different pieces of assets that we're trying to record journal entries for. The first one is machinery. Okay, and so what we're doing is we're updating this. The first thing we do is we update the expense, and for the machinery, it's just retired on January 1st. So what we do is we show that it's completely depreciated. We bought it in 2007. It has 10 years of useful life. It is now 2017. It's completely depleted. So we put in the total amount here. Machinery, the depreciation is 80,940, and we originally purchased it for 80,940. Remember, all of these journal entries should balance debit and credit. The next thing we're told is the recorded the depreciation expense for the forklift. In this case, what we're doing for June 30th is we're just updating it for this year for 2017. So we're updating it from January 1st to June 30th. That's 6 months. How do we figure this number out? What we do is we figure out how much this forklift is depreciating at. Now, there's no salvage value, so we don't have to subtract anything from this total value. We divide 34,200 by 5, and that'll give us how it depreciates each year, which is 6,840. And then we're going to go ahead and divide that by 2. So because it's 6 months in, which is exactly half the year. So we divide 6,840 by 2, we get 33,420. That's the depreciation expense that we're putting in for those 6 months. And we're also we're going to debit depreciation expense. We're going to credit depreciation equipment, accumulated depreciation equipment. So then we go down to the next one. Here we're going to record the sale of the forklift. Now, if you guys haven't already, you can actually find this in the textbook, how to do this. You can also do it on the link to text here. It actually walks you through the proper steps. But first and foremost, we're actually selling. We learned that we're actually selling the forklift. We're selling it for $13,680. So the first thing we do is we enter cash, and we put in the cash amount. We were receiving $13,680 in cash. Okay, we're going to figure out accumulated depreciation equipment. Okay, this is only for 6 months, so we need to figure out what it has total. We purchased it in 2014, so it has 3 years of depreciation, which brings us to about 20,000 and some change. And then we're going to go ahead and add our new depreciation expense, what we added to accumulated depreciation on June 30th, which gives us 23,940. We're going to debit that so we can take it, balance it from the credit side. And then we put in the original purchase amount, okay, because we're actually we're crediting our equipment for that amount, 34,200. Good, got that here. And then we figure out what the difference is. Well, when we add these two up, we find out that we actually had a gain of 3,420. And so we journal that as a gain of 3,420 because these numbers here are greater than what we originally purchased it for. That's how we come up with it, whether or not it's a gain. Now the next one's a little different. We're going to do the truck. Now this one tripped me up for a minute, but I understand it now, so I actually can explain it. But to record the depreciation expense on a truck, if there is a salvage value, we need to subtract the salvage value from the cost, the purchase price, before we figure out the straight line depreciation. So what we do is we take 38,080, we subtract 3424, which gives us 34,656. And we're going to go ahead and figure out how many. It has eight useful years. So we're going to figure out how much does it depreciate each year. It depreciates at $4,332 per year. We see here we're trying to calculate 1 year of depreciation here because it's December 31st and everything starts on January 1st is what we learn up here. So for 1 year, depreciation expense, $43.32. We're going to go ahead and debit depreciation expense and credit accumulated depreciation equipment. And then we come to the actual sale. So this happens on December 31st. We are not necessarily selling it, we're salvaging it, we're discarding it, but it has a salvage value. Okay, but we've already calculated what's in there based on the depreciation. Our accumulated depreciation is 25,992. We figure that out by multiplying the depreciation expense each year by 5. So we've had it for 5 years, plus what we added this year, which is $43.32. By adding those numbers together, we get 25,992. And then what I did is I actually went ahead and added in equipment, what we purchased it for originally, which was $38,080. And I noticed that the difference between those two numbers is $12,088. And right here, what we're seeing is since we didn't actually get a sale price for it, we're getting this here. That's all we're getting. So our loss on this piece of equipment, this truck, is $12,088. Guys, I hope that this video was helpful. Sorry, I did this problem a few hours ago, so I apologize if I didn't have it, my notes readily available. I had to redo some of this as we did it. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments on this video, and I'll be happy to answer questions as I can. Thank you so much, and good luck on the rest of this stuff.